Meg is volt az újraindítás. Na hát akkor beszélgessünk a csapattal is egy kicsit. Kivel kezdjük? Hát kezdjük a nehezével. Morrigan. Jaj, de tényleg Morrigannek van ajándék. Mert megérdemli. A fekete varázskönyv. Ne, tessék, ne.
You found Flemeth's grimoire? Ever since we discovered the condition of the Mage's Tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
Szívesen.
I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
Az biztos, hogy érdekes lesz. Vajon lehet már beszélni róla? Egyébként minden társunknak van egy ilyen kis mellékküldetés, amit jól volna megcsinálni.
I await your command.
De úgy néz ki, hogy még olvasgatja. Na hát akkor ennyi Morriganről. Hát ugye Stannek már visszaszereztük a kardját. Alistairnek meg neki az mikor a húgát látogattuk meg, az a mellékküldetése szerintem. Lelianának még nem csináltuk meg. Zebrannak se. Tehát mindenkivel beszélgessünk már, hogyha itt vagyunk.
I have been mistaken.
Persze, hogy tévedtél, tudom.
Enjoy this while it lasts. It won't happen again. You are a soldier worthy to stand among the Beresad. I did not think so when we first met.
Kösz.
You are welcome. The day will come when the Arishok sends us here. On that day I will not look to find you on the battlefield.
Akkor remélem, hogy én sem találkozom veled.
There is no point in dwelling on it. We should move on.
Menjünk.
As you wish.
Na hát ezt le is zavartuk. Akkor ki legyen a következő.
At your service.
Valami bizalmasat.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
What? nem csatlakozna hozzám a sátorba. Mi? Mi? Azt hiszem, ezt most be kellene fejeznünk. Én nem akarok románcolni senkivel se, úgyhogy nem lényeges.
Fair enough. Off we go then. At your
Esetleg
service.
valami más.
Of course.
Ki tudná képezni valakit templáriussá?
Others, yes, but not yourself. I need someone who's trained first as a warrior.
Én biztos, hogy nem lehetnék
It's as
templár.
much about discipline as anything. I guess if I'm going to give up Chantry secrets, I may as well go all the way. Send whoever you want trained to me in camp, and I'll see what I can do.
Na, ez jó. Templár. Specializálódás. Osság. Hát én nem tudom, hogy kiből lenne jó templár. Stemből. Majd meglássuk, hogy milyen skilleket ad. Lelianával kéne beszélgetni, még sokat, mert neki is van egy mellékküldetés. Na, most fog énekelni egyet, nem baj, eddig megiszom az italomat. Na, énekel egyet, Leliana.
Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free.
Én azért még nem szeretném, a szabadon szállna le.
It's a beautiful sentiment, I think. one that brings peace and hope to the grieving.
Na énekel egyet, addig iszok. Na, ez szép volt. Kár, hogy nem a saját hangjával énekelt, de ezt most elnézzük neki. Na, de azért mondjál már még valamit.
Something I can help with?
Beszélnünk kéne.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Hát nem tudom.
Where did you hear this? And did you not think that this could be historical fact and no longer true? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
Bardok.
Many use the two words minstrel and bard interchangeably, but to do so in Orlais would cause misunderstanding. Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are. What do you think? They infiltrate, steal, sometimes assassinate? It depends on the bard. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players. I have revealed too much, it seems, but it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
Abba ne hagyd, olyan izgalmas.
The excitement of the life wears off very quickly, I'm afraid. I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here.
Persze, Maker. Na, nézzük, csak ajándékot kell neki még adni. Kicsit jobban megnyíljon. Hát, ha van valami érdekes tudsz. Ó, ez szerintem ez tetszik majd neki.
Flowers? For me? They smell lovely. And there's something so familiar about them. These were my mother's flowers. She would sprinkle the dry petals amongst her clothes. Oh, they smell just like her. Thank you so much.
Na, szívesen.
Something I can help with?
Beszélgessünk még.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Hát,
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
az jól hangzik.
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
És hangokat is hallotta.
No, not voices. It's not so simple. He spoke directly to my soul, in a language no human tongue can express. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Black devours everything? That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
Csak plusz 2-t ad. Az azért elég kevés. Még
Something I
valami.
can help with?
Beszéljünk még.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Hát nem tudom.
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it. She had served Cecily, the Lady Cecily, for many years and was loyal to her. Cecily was a good person. She was always kind to me. Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother. Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dry flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet
Ja,
fragrance.
olyat adtunk most oda neki.
Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
Adjunk még neki egy ajándékot. Ki akarnám kényszeríteni a mellékküldetését, hogy ide adja. Mit szeret vajon? Hát itt a virág.
Why, thank you so much.
Adjunk neki egy kaszint gatyaszaggatót. Nem ilyen vallási szarságokat biztos szereti.
Oh, how dear of you.
Mondtam én.
Thank Thank you so much.
Ó, meg pagonyát, szarvas bőrkesztyű, ezt az Ebránnak kell odaadni.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind? I miss Valroyo. Unlike
Valroyo.
other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Valroyo was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in
Lakó
Valroyo,
idióták amúgy.
streaming from the many
Előre
windows,
elmondom.
quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the grand cathedral. It was magnificent.
Templom. Hát, én nem jártam ott.
If you get the chance, you should see it. At least Valroyo.
Majd
Of
az
course, there are good
Inquisitionbe.
things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais. I left behind much, leaving Orlais, but there is more to life than dresses and furs. It is sad that many have lost sight of this. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes! Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Erről helyes cipők voltak.
Sometimes, about 10 years ago, all the ladies went mad for shoes with soles as large and heavy as bricks. But it isn't always that silly. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring. I wouldn't want to run in it, or have to enter battle, but for lounging in a lady's sitting room? Perfect. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
Hát kényelmesek, vagy nem fázok bennük. Hát, szerintem elég kényelmesek lehetnek.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
Hát, Leliana,
Something I can help with?
meg tudsz rá tanítani, bár legyek.
That's an idea. I've watched you, and I do think you'd find some of my skills quite easy to pick up. Let's just go over there, away from the others, for safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Hát igen, a bárd specializáció feloldódik ilyenkor.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind?
Mesélj még mesét.
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Milyen mesét meséljünk? Az éjfattyakról.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin.
Nem
And it
voltak
is with the
tiszták.
sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
És akkor most mit hívhatunk miattuk? Hát mesélj egy Orlais történetet
Of
is.
course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of
Ja, ez
Alvin,
egyébként egy
the
jó
Knight
sztori,
of
ez az
Orlais.
Avelinos. Mondd csak.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Értettem, hogy ez lesz a vége.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Tornát megnyerte legalább.
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Hát reméltem, hogy szebb vége lesz.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Mondj egy Fereldeni
I know
mesét is.
one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Morrigan anyját hívják Flemetnek.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
Átlagos vénasszonynak nézett ki.
Well, if Flemeth really exists, she would be very, very old indeed. Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you. Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love. Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year. till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many chastened men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
Wow. Ez szép mese volt. Na. Akkor adjuk oda a kesztyűt Zevrannak, hát ha ő is megnyílik egy kicsit. Tessék.
Gloves? You're giving me gloves? What for?
Mint olyan, mint anyádé. Az ő.
You're right. It is like my mother's. The leather was less thick and it had more embroidery, but these are very close and quite handsome.
Nagyon szívesen.
Do I seem surprised? Perhaps I am. Still, I appreciate the fact that you even thought of me. No one has simply given me a gift before. Thank you.
Hát szívesen, szívesen mindenkinek. Na nézzük csak, hogy állnak itt a népeink. Barátságos. De nem is tudom, miket szeret még. Gatyaszaggatót adjunk neki. Zebran az ilyen aranyrudakat, azt szereti az egész biztos.
You have excellent taste.
Ja, tényleg a kutyánkra adjuk rá a festéket. Ne. Közeledő.
A fine gift. You have my thanks. Interesting.
Érdekes.
Interesting.
Érdekes.
Interesting.
Mindjárt mindenkinek veszek valamit. Létsz. Vannak ezek az ajándékok, aminek mindenki örül.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Valaki. Na itt. Ott lenni. Mi az a pillangókat? Ezt lehet vajon használni? Hát nézzük már meg. Ocsmány csizma. Emlékek amulettje. Ez Vinnek kell, úgyhogy odaadjuk neki. Ritka antivai likőr, ez meg Zebrannak egy ajándék. Göcsörtös bot, melyből macskahúgy és szilvalés szaga árad. Gyümölcstorta. Rothadó fokhagyma. Vegyünk kis gyümölcstortát. És akkor mondjuk 9 darabot. Vegyünk 10-et. Akkor azt odaadjuk. Mondjuk Stan. Ő mondta, hogy szereti a sütit. Itt van
You have
egyél.
my thanks.
Egyél.
You have my thanks. You have my thanks. You have my thanks.
Igen. Morrigan.
Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
Igen. Jön meg Zevran. Neked ide. Itt van.
I shall treasure it.
Oh,
Thank you.
hogy felnyomta maximumra. Vinnek meg az amulettet.
A generous gift. Thank
Igen,
you ever
amikor
so
egy
much.
olyan ajándékot azok nekik, amilyen névre szóló, akkor ennyire felnyomja a kedvelésüket. Kutyának adjuk már oda azt az ökörcsontot, meg marhacsontot, mert csak foglalja itt nekem a helyet. Ezt a kardot, ezt kinek lehet odaadni vajon? Stan. De vajon örülne egy ilyen kardnak? Elmentem a biztonság kedvére, mert vannak olyan ajándékok is, amik direkt lerontja a kedvelési szintet. Wow. Oké. Öntém, és akkor... Tessék, itt egy szép kard.
You have my thanks.
Aha! Tessék, -51. -51. De viszont... De viszont ilyenkor megjelenik itt, ez egy használható kard. Hogy nézhet ez ki vajon? 12 támadás. Erkölcstelen kivárvány erő vonzza a pillangókat. Jézusom, de ez mínusz izébe vitte neki a kedvelését, hát. Mondjuk adjuk oda, hogy néz ez ki? Sehogy. Jövő. Ez szar. De. Azt a... Ezért nem tetszik Stannek, mert ilyen... Hát, pedig ez egy nagyon jó kard lenne. Stan. Visszatöltjük, nem akarom levinni a kedvelését. De barátságos. Ha odaadom neki, rögtön semleges lesz, és közeledő Zevran. Az lenne jó, hogyha barátságosak lennének. Tudom, azt is mondtam, hogy nem nagyon fog érdekelni, hogy ki mit gondol rólam, ami igaz is. De azért már, hogyha lehet, jóba lennék itt a népekkel. Így néz jobb. Zebran. Oké, most már rá lehet adni a jobb cuccokat. Ez az. Hát a pagonyelvkesztyű az egy boss egyébként, amit adtam neki ajándékul. Itt felülmúlhatatlan páncélja. De sisak nem járt ez a páncélhoz, véd. Úgy néz ki, hogy nem. Ki az, akin még nincs sem? Tessék, akkor vedd fel te. Win. Na jól van.
Are you sure I can't interest you in this hat? A pair of earrings, perhaps? A cheese knife?
Hát a sajtvágókést, azt
I'm
megnézem.
sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Az a kard. Az a pillangós. Vérsárkány lemezvért. Jaj, meg tényleg a... Hát ez a csökkenti az ellenségességet, de nem igazán csökkentette az a helyzet. Mindegy, maradjon. Nem. Ez kell. Ez jobb nekem. Dörzsöltség az mindig jó, ha van. Ezt megkaphatod, ne foglalj itt a helyet nekem. Séket tiéd. Ez is. Meg ez... Devram. Grey Warden Longsword. Hát igen, az erősebb sokkal. Viszont ez Asturian nagysága, ez meggyengíti a széfattyokat a közelben. Ami nagyon-nagyon-nagyon jó. Úgyhogy inkább ezt használd. Eladhatom. Tegyünk rá egy rúnát is.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
Hát...
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Enchantolás kén.
Enchantment!
Asturian nagysága. Esély a bénításra. Hát legyen esély a bénításra, így ne. Zöld halál, ez kinél van? Na, nála lehet. Jó. Oké. Hát szerintem... Ja, még nézzük már meg. Jött az új seregemnek a képviselője. Péter küldött.
The Templars of the Chantry stand ready, Grey Warden.
Még...
Not all perished in the tower, Grey Warden, and those that remain are highly unlikely to further test the Chantry's wrath. The Templars of the Chantry stand ready, Grey Warden.
Van szükséged valamire?
There are always areas to improve on, Grey Warden.
Rúnák? Abba tudok is adni most egy
useful
párat,
for my
azokat a gyenge
talents
szarokat.
are runes.
Tessék, odaadom az összes... rúnát. Pénzt azt nem fogok adni. De. Na, ennyi.
Even the Templars will be impressed by the powers you will command.
Hát remélem. Remélem jó az. Na, szerintem beszélgettük mindenkivel, úgyhogy csinálhatunk valamit. Mondjuk egy DLC-s missiont. Mondjuk ezt. Ja, szerintem csináljuk ezt.